Namaskar and welcome to our Ramayana Satsanga, the 42nd day. Lakshmeenatha Samarambham Nathayamuna Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yo Nityamachyutapadam Bhujayukma Rukma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinaya Mene Asmadgurur Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindho Ramanujasya Charanau Sharanam Prapadye आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारी परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम् वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदप्राचेत सादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना. So with prayers at the lotus feet of Sri Ramachandra and Acharyas, let us take our topic for today. So in yesterday's satsang, we saw how Hanuman started speaking to Sita and he told Ramakatha. And then she was really surprised to see that somebody in this Lanka is talking about my Rama. Now, we saw also that Hanuman had climbed down to a lower branch, so she was able to see him. So then she wants to make sure that who is this person telling about Rama? Does he really know Rama? So Sita asks Hanuman that you please describe the form of Rama. If really you have come from Rama, then you please describe his form. So Hanuman replies, Ramah Kamalapatrakshaha Sarvabhuta Manoharaha Rupa-dakshinya Sampannaha Prasuto Janakatmaje. O Sita, O Janakatmaje, O daughter of Janaka, this Rama is the one whose eyes resemble the petals of the lotus flower. He is having such a handsome face and such a handsome personality that he is able to attract the heart of all living beings. He, by birth itself, he has a lot of grace and dexterity. Like this, Hanuman praises Rama. Further he says, Tejasaditya Sankashaha, Kshamaya Prathivi Samaha, Brihaspati Samo Buddhya, Yashasa Vasavopamaha. He is equal to the sun, Aditya, in splendor. He is like the earth, he is like Prithvi Devi in his endurance, in his patience. He is like Brihaspati in his intelligence, and he is equal to Indra in fame. Rakshita Jiva Lokasya, Swajanasya cha Rakshita, Rakshita Swasya Vrityasya, Dharmasya cha Parantapaha. He is the one who protects, he is the protector of all beings in this world. Not only his own people, but all beings in this world, he protects. And he is the one who is always on the side of Dharma. Like this, Hanuman describes all the qualities of Rama. Then he explains further to Sita that how it was that Rama and Lakshmana came searching. They came to the Rishyamukha mountain. There he went and met them and he spoke with them. Then he took them to meet Sugriva, how they became friends there, how when Rama was shown the ornaments of Sita, he cried with so much grief and sorrow. All this Anjaneya explains to Sita. And then he has this ring now of Rama which he has brought, isn't it? So he shows that ring to Sita. Vanaroham Mahabhagay Duto Ramasya Dhimataha Ramanamaankitam cha idam Pashya Devi Anguliyakam. O illustrious lady, I am a monkey, I am a Vanara, and I am a messenger of Rama. Look at this ring which I have brought, on which Ramanama is there. He tells her and he shows that ring to her. Here the Acharyas explain, seeing that ring, Rama was not there in front of Sita, but when she saw that ring, she could imagine that finger on which that ring sat. And from the finger, she could see the hand of Rama, and from the hand of Rama, she could see the entire form of Rama, and she felt very happy, as if Rama was just standing in front of her. She felt a peculiar kind of sadness. She also felt a peculiar kind of joy. Why is this? Because here the Vyakhyana is given that it is told previously when they were in Ayodhya, even before they came off for the Vanavasa, it seems Rama and Sita once had a small quarrel and both of them decided that they are not going to go and start talking to the other person. So like that it went on for 2 days. But by then what had happened, they were both feeling very bad that they are not talking to each other. But that sense of why I should say sorry, like that, they continue to not talk to each other. Then after some time, Rama couldn't bear it anymore. So what he did was, the ring which he was wearing on his finger, he himself purposely dropped that ring on the ground somewhere in front of Sita only. He is only dropping it. And then he looked around here and there and he said, I have lost my ring. If anybody finds my ring, please give it to me. Like that, he told. And Sita, she had also seen that actually it is Rama who has dropped the ring, but she also was just waiting for an excuse. So she went, she picked up that ring, she brought it to Rama, she put it on his finger, and she said, here is your ring. And then they were both united again. They forgot about the quarrel that they had. So here Acharyas tell that this Sita was remembering that incident at that time when just there was some slight difference of opinion among them and they were separated. This ring had united them. Now, when physically she is so far away from Rama and in total sorrow and grief, at this time also it is the same ring of Rama which has brought them together, which has given joy to them again. So, like that, she is feeling a kind of sadness and a kind of joy also. Now, seeing all this thing and hearing to all the talk of Hanuman, Sita praises his qualities. She says, oh, you're so capable. You have come all the way from there. Only, I thought only the wind god will be able to fly over the ocean, but you are also so strong. You're so intelligent and how capable you are. And so on. She praises his qualities. Then she asks, how is my Rama? How is Lakshmana? What is happening there? She wants to know. So Hanuman explains to her about how Rama is so sad at being separated from her, how he is not eating properly, how he does not even sleep properly. If by chance somewhere he falls asleep in the middle, he dozes off, he wakes up saying, Ha Sita, like that. So, hearing that also, Sita is again having a bittersweet feeling. On the one hand, she is feeling happy that, oh, Rama is also sad at feeling separated from me. And on the other hand, she is feeling sad that, oh, this Rama, who is my loving husband, he's so away from me, and I don't know what will happen to me next. Will he be able to come and protect me? Like that, that sadness also is there. So this much is the story part, what we have talked about. But there are a lot of inner, deeper meanings to this. So let us see what the Acharyas tell us about this. Now, here first the Acharyas explain that this Hanuman, as soon as Sita saw him and she started talking to him, he could have shown her the ring itself, no, at first only, saying that I am Rama's messenger. Why is he spending so much time in describing the qualities of Rama and all that? Why didn't he show the ring itself first to show, to prove that he is Ramaduta? Acharyas say that he didn't do this because already we said, and we have seen in all these few days, that Hanuman is very intelligent. He knows to anticipate how somebody will feel about something. So, what he thinks is that if just because somebody brings a ring and shows, because it is Rama's ring, doesn't mean that this person is a friend of Rama, does not mean that he is actually messenger come from Rama. Suppose Rama had dropped the ring somewhere, then anyone who picked up that ring could have got it, isn't it? So anyone who has the ring can show the ring. It is not necessary that Rama only has given the ring to this person. So how will Sita believe? Secondly, there is another factor that these Rakshasas know to create many illusory things. So, who says that Rakshasas cannot create one ring exactly as it is belonging to Rama? They will be able to have that power also, right? So, Sita may not believe, just if he shows the ring first, she may not believe that he has really come from Rama. Now, why this ring was sent by Rama? It was not to prove identity of Hanuman. It was to give joy to Sita. And that is exactly the emotion that she experienced when Hanuman showed it at the right time. Now, that means the identity of Hanuman was known by something else to Sita. She did not say that by seeing the ring, she didn't believe that he is Rama's messenger. Then, how did she believe him? Because she asked him to describe Rama. And Anjaneya, normally we have seen the norm that most cases when the bhaktas start singing the joy of the glories of the Lord and they describe the form of the Lord, it is common practice to start from the feet of the Lord. They will start describing the holy feet of the Lord and then gradually move upwards. And the eyes will be one of the last features to be described because you are moving upwards from the feet to the head. But in case of exceptional bhaktas, whom the Lord has blessed, Those are the people who have the ability to appreciate the beauty of his eyes. And the lotus like eyes are the most characteristic feature of the Lord. In all the avatars, whatever may be the avatara, even Matsya avatara is said to have lotus like eyes. Even Varaha avatara is said to have lotus like eyes. Rama avatara, Krishna avatara, they are human avatars. They are also said to be lotus like eyes. So that lotus eye is typical of the Lord in all the avatars. And only somebody who has got the Lord's grace can appreciate the beauty of the eyes and speak about the beauty of the eyes. To explain this, the acharyas give a very wonderful example. In the life of Swami Ramanujacharya, he had previously, when he was in Kanchipuram, before coming to the Sri Vaishnava fold, he had studied under a Advaiti Acharya called as Yadava Prakasha. Now, this Advaita Acharya was somebody who was high on the Jnana quotient, but he did not have love for the Lord. So, what happened is, 1 minute, please. So this Yadava Prakasha, he had lot of jnana, but he was just a dry Vedanti. He had no bhava, he had no love for the Lord. So when once he had explained the meaning of a shloka which appears in the Chandogya Upanishad. So in that Chandogya Upanishad, it is told to describe the eyes of the Lord. There is a phrase there. It says, Tasya yatha kapyasam pundarikam evam akshini. He had explained the meaning for this as Kapyasam. Kapi plus asam. The butt of a monkey, the lower part of the body, the buttocks of the monkey, that is the color of a particular red color. And the Lord's eyes are red in color, just like the backside of the monkey. This was the explanation that he gave for this shloka. Now, when he explained this in the class, Ramanuja had not attended that day. However, the next day when he went and he was doing Guru Sushrusha, he was applying oil to his Guru's body. At that time, the Guru said to the other Shishyas who were sitting there that Ramanuja had not come to the class yesterday. So you please narrate what I explained in the class yesterday. So those students told this meaning. And hearing that, Ramanuja was shocked. How can somebody compare the beautiful eyes of the Lord to the backside of a monkey? What a grave aparadha it is to compare with such an object. What is the greatest possible beautiful thing in the world? You are comparing it with the butt of the monkey. How can somebody do that? And in that sadness and shock, tears started flowing from his eyes. He didn't say anything, but those hot tears fell on the body of Yadava Prakasha. And he was saying, he turned to Ramanuja and asked him that, why are you crying like this? What happened? So then Ramanuja said that, how can you make a comparison like that? I am appalled at the kind of comparison you have done. So the Guru challenged him. He said, okay, if you are not happy with my explanation, you tell what is your explanation. And then Ramanuja explained. He said, Kapyasam means that which is blossomed by the sun. And what is it that is blossomed by the sun? It is the lotus. As soon as the sun rises, the lotus blossoms. So Pundarikam is a lotus. So the meaning of this shloka is that the eyes of the Lord are as beautiful as the lotus which blossoms by the effect of the sun. This is the way to interpret that shloka, he said. Now, why was Ramanuja able to give this interpretation? What he told as the meaning of Kapyasam is also very perfectly legitimate by the rules of Sanskrit. Why didn't Yadav Prakasha get this meaning? Why did Ramanuja get this meaning? Because Ramanuja was a devotee of the Lord. He was totally lost in love of the Lord. So Acharyas explain here that only when somebody has love of the Lord, they will be able to appreciate the true beauty of the Lord. And that is what Anjaneya had. That is why he starts by saying, Rama Kavmala Patrakshaha. He is able to describe the beauty of the Lord's eyes as beautiful as the lotus petals because he is having love of the Lord. And that, understanding that this person is having so much love and devotion for Rama, that is what proved his identity to Sita, not the ring which he brought. So, this is one inner meaning which is explained to us by the Acharyas. Now, in Kamba Ramayana, actually, Kambar describes that when Hanuman is asked by Sita to describe the form of the Lord, he hesitates. He says, how can I speak? What words do I have? My vocabulary has no words to describe the beauty of Rama. His eyes are like the lotus. His face is like the lotus. His mouth is like the lotus. He started describing everything by comparing it to the lotus. And Kambar says that I can say that the Lord's face is as beautiful as the moon because that is what it is. But then if I say moon, it will not be correct because the moon has phases where it waxes and wanes. So at some times the color, the luster of the moon is less, and at other times it is more. But Rama's beautiful face, the beauty never fades. It is always the same beautiful face. So I can't compare with the moon, he says. So this is about the eyes of the Lord. Now further, if we see, you remember there was in yesterday's satsang, there was a question which Sita had asked. She had asked Lakshmana, how come there can be friendship between a Nara and a Vanara? A human being like Rama, how did he get into friendship with you Vanaras who are monkeys? And we had said yesterday that she is not doubting the capacity of Rama to show compassion on all beings, but she has some other intention in asking this, right? So here the Acharyas explain that what actually Sita is asking is that without my intervention, without getting my permission, how did this friendship occur? Because whenever any bhakta, whenever somebody has to approach the Lord, it has to occur with the permission of the Devi only. So this is what she's actually asking. She's not asking how come Rama made friends with you. She's asking, I wasn't there, isn't it? Then without me being involved, how did Rama become your friend? That is what she's asking. And understanding that meaning, Hanuman is so intelligent. Understanding the implied meaning of her question, he answers that. He tells her that when you passed by, Ravana was kidnapping and abducting you and taking you away. At that point, when you were passing by, you remember you saw some Vanara sitting on the mountain hill, on the mountain top, and you threw down some ornaments at them. At that moment, by throwing those ornaments to us and by looking at Sugriva, you gave us your kataksha, you gave us your divya drishti, and only because you looked at us at that moment, it was possible for us to become friends with Rama. Only because of your kataksha, this friendship became successful. He explains that. And hearing this explanation, Sita is even more happy because now she's got even more complete guarantee that indeed Hanuman has come from Rama itself. Firstly, only someone who is having Rama Bhakti can see and appreciate and describe the beauty of Rama's eyes. And only someone who is having so great a connection with Rama will understand the implied meaning of my question and be able to answer it correctly. So, no wonder he is definitely a messenger from Rama. She understands that. What happens next after this, what more they talk about, we will see in the next satsang. For today, let us offer gratitude at the lotus feet of Acharya and Sri Rama for giving us all this knowledge, and let us pray that their blessings and grace will always be on us. Mangalam Kosalendraya Mahaniya Gunabdhaye Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam Veda Vedanta Vedyaya Megha Shamalamurtaye Pumsam Mohana Rupaya Punyashlokaya Mangalam Pitrabhaktaya Satatam Bhratrabihi Sasitaya Nandita Kila Lokaya Ramabhadraya Mangalam श्रीमते रघुवीराय सेतुलङ्घितसिन्धवे जितराक्षसराजाय रणधीराय मङ्गलम् मङ्गलाशासनपरैर्मदाचार्यपुरोगमैः सर्वैश्च पूर्वैराचार्यैः सत्कृतायास्तु मङ्गलम्. Thank you everyone, and we will meet again tomorrow and see what happens next. Namaskar.